Hi, everyone. Okay, so we'll be continuing from where we stopped in our last class. I believe you are enjoying the training so far. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the videos, and also share the link. If you know that you are benefiting from this training, then you have to tell your friends about it. So share the link, tell others about it. So let me share my screen. Not this. Okay. So we are going to continue from where we stopped. I try to increase the font of my Arrow Studio. So if you want to increase the font of your Arrow Studio, you go to Tools, you go to Global Option, you go to Appearance, and you change the font size. You can also change any other that you want to change. So before, my font size was 10, so I changed it to 11. Oh, so today, last class, the last video, if you have not watched it, you can go back and take a look at it, because I'm going to continue from the last video. I'm not going to start from the beginning. The last video, I talked about how to select a subset, how to get a subset from your data set. So example, if you are, let me use the education system. I have student result and I want to select all the students that pass the course. So I can be able to select the subset. You are working in a company and you want to select all customers that have a particular attribute. So you can use this to select your subset. So whenever you're working on a data, you can select a subset. You select a subset using this function subset, or you use the block bracket. So today I'm going to talk about, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to use the transform function. So there's a function called the transform function. So how to use the transform function. So what do we use the transform function to do? First, let me go to the help. So we all see transform. So this is it. So remember, for you to use the help, you start with the question mark, then you write the function. So transform data table utilities, transform an object. So let me check the second one. Okay, so to read about it, you can also check an example. So what do we use the transform function to do? We use the transform function to do many things. So if you want to add maybe another column in your data set, I've shown you how to do that using the $sign, but you can also use the transform function. So let me run all this first. So we have by gave me an error. Let me just run all this. So we'll continue from where we stop. Okay, so we have where we stopped in our last, we have by, and this is what by is. So if I want to add a new column to this, I have different ways of doing it. So let me start with the first way I already explained. So I can use the $sign to add a new column. So the name of the variable is by, so I'll do by $sign. When you put the $sign, all the existing columns will pop up. But because you don't want to use the existing columns, you want to add a new one. So you write the name of the new one you want to add. So I can write new as the name of the new column I want to add. Then it will ask you what are the objects that will be in the new column you want to add. So what will be inside the new column? And remember, it must be of the same length with the data set. So the data set has how many rows? So let's count. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 rows. So anything you are adding must be of length 7. So let me add from 20 to 26, which is 7. 20 to 26. Now, if you want to see what you've done, you write by and run. So are you seeing I've added a new column? Now I use the $sign to add a new column. I have other ways I can do this. So I can also use a transform function to do it. So this is how to, so let me use the transform function and add another column. I will call the column old. So this is how to use the transform function to do it. So one thing about arrow doesn't have a fixed method that you can use always. Arrow doesn't have just one particular method that you can use. There are many ways you can do a particular thing. So that is why if I give my student assignment to do, I'm expecting all of them to come with unique codes. Your comment, if you are writing your comment and my comment, it's possible that they will not be the same, although they will be passing the same message. So we can use transform to do the same thing we did with the $sign. So how do you work with the transform? So transform, you do the function, then you write the name of the data set, which is by. It means I want to work on the data set by. So what do you want to do? I want to add a new column called old. So what will be inside old? I want to add WT and new. So what I want to do is I want to add WT, and look at what I'm doing, WT and new together. So I will save it inside. Okay, I will run it. Are you seeing it? New, old. Now, one thing about, if you are using a transform, you have to assign a variable name to it. So I can assign the same variable name to it by the existing variable name. So it will overwrite the old, what I had before. So if I check by now, I see I have new, I have old. But old, I said old is WT plus new. So WT plus new. So if you check this, 2.320 plus 20 will give you 22.320. I can also, now I decided to add. If I don't want to add, I can choose not to add, maybe look for something else and do. So let me use transform. You write the name of the data set you want to work on by. So what do you want to do? I want to add a new column, and let me call the column best. So what will be in best? You can write 70 to 76. You put by. So that's it. So I've added new, old, best. I used different ways to add it. I used the $sign. I also used the transform function. So let me talk about one more function that we cannot use for this. We can use the width and within function. So we have two, width and within. So we have the width and within function. So if you want to learn about the function, you do the $sign within. $sign within will give you this. So you click. So this is it. So you width and within, they do almost the same thing. So you read about it or you check the example. So I'm going to use the within function. So let me use within, even though they do both almost the same thing. So I will still work on the by data set to add more columns to it. So this is how I'll do it. I'll do within then write the name of the data set. What's the name of the data set? By. Then you write your comma, you open a curly bracket and click enter. Open it, then you start writing all the things you want to do within this data set by. I want what all the transformation I want to do within this dataset by. So these are all the things I want to do. I want to add a new column, and I will call it mom. So what will mom be? Mom is old times best. If I want to add more things, I can do that. Let me know. I can add that. That will be old plus drat. So that's it. So I'll run. Simple. But all these things I did, let me explain something. If I run by, are you seeing that by doesn't contain all the new additions? By doesn't contain it. Why? Because all this code I wrote using the within function, I didn't assign it to a variable name. So if I want it to be inside of by, I have to write by, yeah. So it means I'm updating the information I have in by. If I want to update the information I have in by, so I have to write by. Because if I don't put a variable name there, it will show me the result, but the result is not stored in a variable name. So if you want to store your result in a variable name, then you have to write the name and use the assign variable function. Remember, the assign variable function is either you use equal sign or use the less than and dash. So if I do this now, if I run line 155 to 158, it will overwrite what I had in by before. So now look at what I have in by. I've been able to add 2 new columns. What are the 2 new columns? Dad and mom. So far I've taught you how to add new columns using the transform function, how to add new columns using the $sign, how to add new columns using the within function. If you look at this, the width behaves similarly like the within function. So you do a lot of function within a data set when you use the within function. So if you watch where I was able to add 2 new columns by using the within function. I was able to add 2 new columns by using the within function. So you can also use the with function. Okay, so far what we've learned today is how to modify an existing data set, how you can add a new column to an existing data set, how you can, and if you want to add, you can decide to combine 2 columns together, you multiply the 2 columns together, or you add them together, or you subtract them together. So example, if you have in your company, you have your data set and you have your cost price, you have your selling price, and you want to know your profit. So how do you do that? You do selling price minus cost price, and that will give you the profit. So let me show you what I mean. So let's say let me create a data set, selling price, let me create 10 data sets. I will explain what I'm doing. I'm just generating numbers, but later we'll learn how to generate numbers. Then cost price, let me combine both of them together and call it price. So I want to combine all of them together. So I will use a data frame. So I'm bringing both of them together in a data frame. So data frame, selling. So let me call it SP to be in quotes. Why is it in quotes? Because that's the name of the column in the data frame, selling SP. So what will be SP? SP will be selling.price. Then let me use CP in quotes. CP in quotes. Then what will be CP? CP will be cost price. So let me see my new data set I created, price. So I was saying what we have in price. Oh, I don't like the name. The name is confusing. So we can change the name of the column. So we can do column names of price. Price is the name of the variable, because I don't like the name that is, look at the name that is showing is not funny. So we have to change it. Remember, the first one is for selling price. So I'll do C, SP, selling price. The second one, I'll do CP, cost price. So now let me see what I have in price. Correct. I've been able to change the name of the columns. So the reason why I am doing this, I want to add a new column and call it profit. So instead of me using my calculator to be doing 49.47 minus 40, no, I can use arrow to do it. So I can use the with function or use the other method. So with price, you put your comma, you put your curly bracket, click enter. Then what do you want to do? I want to add a new column, and the new column should be profit. Profit equals to, what is profit? Selling price minus cost price. Then if you want to save all these function that the function I wrote in 167 to 169, then you have to assign it to a variable name. So I want to assign it to the variable name price, so that it overwrite price. Then let me see what I have in price. No. What did I do? Let me do this again. Price. No, this is not what I want. So I will check why this is not working. So let me use the transform function to do that. Sorry, within, not within. Oh, that's one thing about arrow. So you have to know when you're making a mistake. So within, with has its own unique features. We use within, not with. Okay, correct. So this is what I want. So I've been able to get my profit by subtracting the cost price from the selling price. So these are my profit. So far we've learned how we can modify an existing data set, how we can add a new column. So if you have any question, do it to send to my Gmail, chukwudiobite@gmail.com. Chukwudi Obite is my YouTube channel name. So you can chukwudiobite@gmail.com. If you're in my WhatsApp group, you can send your question to my WhatsApp group. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video. If you are learning a lot from this training, then you have to tell others about it. Share the video, tell people about it, so you learn, and also they will also learn. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.